squad. He did split time, but it seems like it's been 5 games straight. Like, Turtle played the first game of Super Week, and then it's been Arrow the whole way through. It feels like Immortals have made their choice. This is the way they want the roster to go. Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Arrow has looked pretty good, and I think that Immortals have been trending upward. It feels like they are, more solidifying the way that they want to play the game. And it feels to me very clearly about Revenge, about him playing through sides. With us on 12.5, with the Hullbreaker nerfs for range champions, I wonder if that's going to change at all, or if he's going to pivot more to melee carries. Things are more like the Camille and the Fiora potentially, and the Tryndamere and all that sort of stuff. Because I think that the Graves isn't going to be as strong, and we've seen at least today, we haven't been just getting Graves all the time. So I'm interested to see what the look will be for Revenge and for Immortals, but being on red side, he will have counter pick. It is a blind Gnar that's coming out from Summit, one of Summit's best champions. This is a very tough nut to crack, though. Summit has been, I think, the best laning top laner in the league. Yeah. I think he has been incredibly impressive individually. I do feel like Summit always has probably one moment a game, though, where you're just like, what are you doing? Like, he gets maybe a little bit cocky, where it's like he survives some amazing gank and then kind of like walks back and dies. Yeah. But it's like, he'll only do it to you once. So you have to really capitalize on any small mistake he makes, because he really doesn't make a lot of them.
Yeah, for sure. We'll look at what happens in this game, though, because we do have the entire bot lanes locked in, and a disjoint with the fact that Lucian's through for Xerxe, but the Gnar covered by bans. We know Immortals are very much all in on Revenge. He's kind of the face of the team as far as all the marketing they go with the squad. I think he's a great player, and they are very much all in on him playing through sides. You look across the players in this match, and the 2 highest gold difference players are Summit, who just destroys everybody, and Revenge, who actually does quite well in lane, but also gets a ton of resources and like almost always gets counter pick. So those are 2 who are constantly winning lane. On the opposite side, actually both Berserker and Arrow and also Turtle have really, really low laning stats. They're often behind in gold and in some cases behind in XP. So these teams have been winning their early games through top. The rest of the game is everyone pitching in, of course, but like I'm expecting a lot to go on in the early game in top lane.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think what has impressed people most about Berserker is nothing to do with the laning phase. It's to do with his team fighting, right? It's to do with how immaculately he can play in those 5v5s, in those skirmishes around dragons. That's where people are really impressed by Berserker. But Blaber as well, player of the week last week, has been an absolute monster. CoreJJ called it out. It's like, what's C9's playstyle? Well, it's Blaber dunking on the other team, or it's Summit dunking on the other team. And that's one of those things why, we are kind of heading towards this huge collision between these 2 teams, assuming C9 wins today. They're both 10-2. C9 and TL will play tomorrow. When you look down the lineup, on paper, it feels like, okay, well, TL probably have a stronger bot lane. They probably have a stronger mid laner. But Summit and Blaber have had such monster performances that you can't help but have some doubt in your mind that maybe C9 could still do it. And we'll see how Blaber looks here today. Waiting for his jungle pick, as it's back-to-back Lucian games here. So this is Lucian mid for Fudge. Very interesting. Into the Ahri, he's bringing this out. So Lucian solo lane making a resurgence here in the LCS.
I forget, was Lucian buffed in 12.5 or in 12.5B from 4 days ago? Because
let's look.
LCS, I believe, is still on 12.5, not the B patch. Maybe I'm misremembering, right? And it's just the buff Lucian and we're in there. But my recollection is that these buffs are 4 days old, which means they shouldn't be in pro until next week.
Yeah, he was buffed in the mid-patch balances. Okay. So that was 12.5B, so I think this is not the buffed Lucian,
Yeah, unless it's weird and they actually did push the patch through. There's a possibility that actually happened, so
if we can get a confirmation.
Yeah, actually, that would have been the better option, was asking production at some point. So let me know, by the way, if it's 5 or 5B, but it is interesting that, look, next week he's buffed, and we're going to see a bunch of Lucian. People are like, but he's good now, though. Great.
This is one of those things, though, and we were actually talking about this earlier today, where sometimes champions are already good, but a buff actually makes you start playing it again and realize, oh, it was actually already strong, right? Yep. So we'll see how that's going to perform. But double marksman, they do have some strong engage, though, and this is what I think we were lacking in some of the earlier games. Diana is a go button with the Gnar to follow up. That can be quite powerful. Summit is actually sitting on Ignite, though, so going to be an interesting matchup.
Alrighty, well, fun game to watch for. Let's see what happens. We got ourselves a match. Welcome back, and we got Revenge's first Tryndamere game of the season. And for a team that has been so much about him in the sideline, I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing the range tops, abusing with Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker gets nerfed for range, so now he's going melee. He's gonna do someone else who can abuse Hullbreaker here. But it is Ignite Gnar. I do not remember ever seeing a competitive Ignite Gnar game.
Ignite Flash.
I'm sure that it has actually, been played, obviously. But this is so atypical. Everybody goes TP on Gnar. So he's going very aggressive, and his read is that, utilizing this range advantage into this melee matchup early on, had the Ignite for the extra kill pressure. I want to see if he can actually really threaten Revenge pre-6. And post-6, will that Ignite actually make the difference, with the heal cut, being able to have that additional kill pressure to actually keep Revenge locked down? I do think if he doesn't get an advantage early, he's going to regret taking the Ignite instead of that TP, because it's going to be tough to actually deal with this Tryndamere on the sideline later on, and not having that additional TP can be rough, because Lucian is not who you really want to be in that 1v1 in sides.
But Immortals playing so aggressively, even their portraits are invading in a C9 side of the map. So we'll see how much they can get done. Obviously, expecting Tryndamere to do well. I think virtually every lane he seems to win pre-6. Every time I look at any of these Champions matchups, we see a pro counter pick. It's like, well, Tryndamere has a 60% first blood rate, but, eventually you catch up to him with, things like Gragas and Gnar in this case as well. Gnar notoriously has a very rough early laning phase where his base health, his base armor are very low, so all-in melees are good matchups into him. Tryndamere can do that, so it's going to be fun to watch that one come through as Destiny takes a tongue lash, but they're in lane.
Yeah, I'm really actually quite excited to watch this top lane. I do think that the early laning phase is going to be so important up there. Revenge going aggressive at the level 1, but it's always about the return trades in these range matchups against Tryndamere. Tryndamere is always going to win the upfront little trade. He spins in on you. He gets those additional autos back. But as the range minions turn from Summit and actually start hitting Revenge, you then turn, you get the boomerang slow, you try to chase down, and move speed becomes incredibly important in these matchups. Often in this matchup in particular, both players will actually rush towards tier 2 boots to try to have the advantage in these trades. But so far, so good. Revenge getting the early shove and going to be able to reset that wave.
So no crits in the first 2 autos from Revenge. You saw for the first spin.
Remake.
Yeah, well, I mean, odds already should have gotten 1. Like, the expected value is 0.8 crits, and, odds of getting 0 is like 36%. So, yeah, a bit unlucky. But I just want to point out, one thing. So, the very standard Tryndamere thing is you fight the first wave, and then you spin through the 7th minion. That's level 2, and you auto someone when you rank Q, right? And you're like, if I can spin into you and go, hey, great, power spike. And so someone was backing up on the 7th minion already. So, the spin came through, and he's 400 units away. He's like, auto attack, right? So that is his optimal play right there, right? Someone obviously knowing the timings. We did get a Revenge trade eventually, which is good, but yeah, just trying his best, right? And there we go, auto. Second auto, wow, he's not critting.
Power shot, he can actually get killed here.
Oh, the hyper move speed. Of course, keep in mind, Flash Ignite is there. This could be a kill. Flash for Flash, chasing in. Boomerang lands. He needs another one, though. He needs another one. Hop forward, and he's not gonna die. The regen is there.
Oh my God, that was close. Revenge has got to be clutching for that one. You take the tower shot, and Summit went all in on that. Just barely doesn't get it. Revenge living is huge because now Summit has no summoners himself. Revenge should be able to get back up top to collect most of that wave. And it's going to really draw junglers up towards that top side. Blood will be in the water. As Fudge going aggressive here mid, trying to push in on PowerOfEvil, but taking the worst end of some of these early trades. And Blaber has been in this side brush for a long time. They are trying to find an opportunity to get in there.
It's an embarrassment of riches. He clears so fast, he's like, well, I gotta wait till 4:15 for the Gramp to come back, so I'm just gonna watch mid lane for a while. Okay, I got some XP, thank you. I'm 4.5 now. All right, Grump's coming up. All right, I'll see you, bud. Don't worry, I'm covering the lane.
Just supporting the team.
I'm covering the lane. Yeah. So Blaber's jungle proximity has doubled already compared to his season average. He clears so fast, he has nothing else to do but watch Fudge land some CS and get some trades.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing right there. And Tryndamere down to 12 HP, actually, off of that top lane play. If that was a Doran's Blade, he would have killed him instead of a Doran's Shield. It's those little things that sometimes can make difference. Of course, I'm not saying that Summit made the wrong itemization choice. Doran's Shield is, I think, a lot more reliable, but it's just these tiny things sometimes that can make the difference. And I'm sure Summit got to be frustrated to barely miss out on that one. Revenge could be really happy to have survived. But it was Summit that had the better buy. That was kind of the edge there, is Revenge had to go back early, so he only had enough for the longsword and the refillable, whereas on the other side, you get boots, you get cloth, the rush towards tier 2 boots is going to be coming in a lot faster. He's going to go straight tabbies. I thought we would have seen Revenge go right towards Berserker Greaves, but it may have just been that he had 500 gold, and he's like, this is the best item I can actually get right now.
Now the wave goes down to the mid lane. Thank you, Foxfire. Gets at least most of it here for PowerOfEvil. I want to keep up that Fudge is still playing sort of his same style where he doesn't buy laning phase items. He's just trying to get to the power spike as fast as possible. And
it's going to go Bork, I think.
Yeah, it's the Bork rush for Lucian is really what's kind of made this popular, it seems like. And yeah, I'm not going Doran's Blade. I'm not going to go refillable just yet. Which, of course, is interesting on the other side because it's actually... Okay, well, yeah, it's a pretty good charm into a lot of damage. The shield comes in for Winsome and will not block a lot with it overall. PoE on 2 landing items with the Corrupting Potion and the Dark Seal. Ult now in for Blaber. Blaber's going to flash down, but can they land the charm? Can they get him away from the blast plant? Yes, but they don't actually attack the seed. Finally get rid of it, and there's no way. Oh, yeah, first blood comes through. Thank you, Lee Sin, as Xerxe's on the board.
Immortals a good punish there, and Winsome kind of botched that. He just walked in, total disrespect. He just walked in straight towards this team that has so much CC as Fudge now will be able to force the flash on Xerxe, but he walks in, gets hooked up, has to blow his flash. He has to run out of there immediately, and then with the extra man, they can kind of chase down and kill off Blaber. So C9 getting punished around that mid lane, but the gold remains dead even, as it was farm advantages there that have just kind of been erased, and now Summit has 6. Both players are on that. We can watch mid lane one more time. This is kind of what I'm talking about with Winsome. You know, he sees everyone. He just kind of walks into the Thresh here. No respect paid to that potential hook.
I think he thought it was a 3v2 and didn't know Xerxe was in the brush. I forget if he saw him already, but Blaber was coming, so that had to be the read that I'm a bait him, it's 3v2. You know, there's a Lee Sin here.
I thought they had seen the Lee Sin move into the brush, but it's possible that he had just snuck around that vision. I do think that makes a lot more sense, you know, based on the way that he played it. But a good punish there from Immortals. They land all the CC. PowerOfEvil, a lot of patience on the charm to not get juked out there by Blaber. He waits the last moment, nails the charm, and that secures the deal. Getting first blood there for Xerxe, so we'll see what he can do with his little edge.
Well, let's see what's next, because, yeah, Lee Sin with a kill feels pretty good. Thank you, Iron Spike Whip. I gotta say, it makes Lee Sin's jungle clear feel so much better. He doesn't have enough local on AoE to, like, kill Raptors and Wolves comfortably, but Iron Spike Whip does apply the burn. So you have, you know, your E-clap for like 80 damage, and you have the Iron Spike active as well for another 80, but both of which give you the like 40-50 burn damage from your jungle item, which is such a massive clear speed increase.
Yeah, it really is, and it keeps you very, very healthy as well when you're constantly applying that. Summit just pushing in. Yes, he used his hop there on a trade, which sometimes people are like, ooh, we gotta be a little bit careful about that, but because Revenge has no rage and it's a pushing wave, Revenge can't look for any sort of an all-in there, right? You have to collect the wave. If you try to engage past it, it's just not really going to be a winning proposition. So he will be able to collect this up, farm it out here, but Summit will have the reset, should have his tabbies, he has the Phage on top, so he's looking pretty good already in this matchup, and it's gonna be about the extended game here.
Because I believe Phage is not in Divine Sunder anymore, because it's got a Warhammer in it, I think. Which means that has to be Hullbreaker component, so he's going to play Hullbreaker Gnar, I believe, which is interesting. I mean, again, he's not running Flash. Like, the man is dedicated to playing side lanes, so he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, I picked Gnar blind. Okay, you show me Tryndamere. I can build for 1v1 Gnar. Let's go for it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, yeah, there is no Phage in the Divine Sunderer, so he may just be going Hullbreaker anyway. I mean, it's still a decent item. It's just nerfed for ranged champions. So, you know, when they both hit that one item spike, Tryndamere is going to get more out of it, right? Because I think at the low levels, it's actually double the bonus net armor and MR when you are isolated. So that is actually quite a big deal. There's the tier 2 boots now in for Revenge, but he is actually not going towards Hullbreaker himself. So looks like he's just going to go Gale Force first, is my guess. Some players will actually do, you know, things like just Zeal, and they set on the Zeal, and then they go into a Mythic. You can look for those types of builds as well. But I think here, you know, with the Noon Quiver components, he's likely just going to do a Gale Force Rush, and it's going to be kind of the old school Tryndamere builds right off of the Hullbreaker stuff. So I wonder if this is a nod towards, like, he actually has Ignite. Maybe you build towards killing rather than building towards pushing because he's not playing TP. And I'd be interested to talk to Revenge and hear kind of what his thoughts on actually the change of the builds are, because last patch, everyone was just doing Hullbreaker every single time on Tryndamere. And it's not nerfed for Tryndamere. Yeah, it's the exact same item for him, you're right. But he's on for a crit option. We have seen, I think, several crit trends today as well, or like this week from what I've seen. So, all right, fair enough, that's the play. And, of course, down 2 plates early on is Revenge. Finds his slow. Going to be some decent damage here, but you're going to Steel Caps and a Phage, so decent durability on Summit here, who, yeah, withstands the early onslaught. And guess what, buddy? On the way back, I get move speed thanks to Hyper, so nice try, Revenge, but
not enough damage dealt.
Yeah, that's a rough trade there. You know, just really doesn't have the damage behind him in this build. The early tabbies, the phase, the shield, keeping Summit very, very healthy. But Revenge has quite a bit of sustain himself here. Obviously, he has the refillable. He has the Q spam here. He's trying to avoid the Mega Gnar ult into the wall because that's what Summit was waiting for. And now he's going to have to ult, and we'll see if he can actually last this out.
He ghosts as well, but what for? He was never going to chase down Summit with no health bar, so a wasted Summoner spell doesn't mean a whole lot for the man.
I think the ghost was, he was expecting Summit to try to stay around and then follow up on the dive after that ignite gets dropped on him and he has to pop his ulti. I think he was thinking, all right, Summit is going to at some point, you know, flash forward and kind of move in, and maybe I can have that ghost move speed to try to react to that. But Summit is just outplaying him in the lane. You know, the early mistake from Revenge, stepping a little bit too far forward, takes the tower shot. Summit punished that beautifully. And then again here, it's this little mind game where you're trying to juke back and forth, trying to wait out the Mega Gnar, and Summit is trying to wait for that perfect angle. He finds it, forces the ult, forces the ghost, pushes them back to base, and it means another wave is lost there for Revenge, who has almost lost 4 turret plates as well without Blaber ever coming top. You know, this is what people talk about when they talk about Summit. You know, he can play almost any matchup.
Is Fudge down, though? He's going to get hit with the Lee Sin Q and the follow-up again. They find it. Xerxe on the board for number 2. Rocket means almost nothing. And as Blaber has a shield, he's going to walk away. Charm again into Winsome. Has a flash, burns that one as well. Immortals getting stuff done in the mid lane as Cloud9 are bleeding top lane dry.
Yeah, Immortals are going to drop the Herald here as well. Try to get some plates, actually get themselves into the gold lead now. Jake's even moving towards mid, so Arrow gets the push out bot. They will just get the 2 plates here, but PowerOfEvil has been on point with the charms, setting them up, and the roams towards mid have been really, really successful here for Immortals. Both times Winsome comes, he has to flash. Both times Immortals comes, they're able to set it up and get that kill. It's the TP in here, no vision in the river, as you can see here for Cloud9. So Fudge, just really no idea that this was going on. Blaber's in the area trying to cover him. They check the brush, but they don't see it. And as Destiny actually arrives, they have the idea that he is over here.
That's got to be full
fog,
right?
Charm. That was full fog, I think. He shouldn't have still had vision from him killing the ward. I wouldn't think it would actually last that long, right? Like, he did shoot the ward over the wall.
Either way, like, hey, well done all the same. Like, Fudge initially, like, did the right things, right? I juke back and forth. Is there a charm? No charm? Okay.
I'd be so interested to see that from ProView, to actually see what he saw.
Yeah.
Because that is one of those things where you're not sure if he actually saw it, if it's just full timing or not. But either way, great stuff from PowerOfEvil.
Yeah.
2 ultimates, 2 kills so far.
Beautifully done. Okay, so what do we got in this game? A very close one, actually. Immortals punching above their weight so far against a Cloud9 that started the day tied for first. Everyone, I think right now has TLC9 as the finals. These are the 2 teams. These are the 2 that no one else can beat. And Immortals are like, yo, dog, you forgot about us right now, because this game has been looking good. Bot lane is close. Mid lane is winning right now. PoE and Xerxe, well done.
My big concern is just how do they utilize this Tryndamere? Because Tryndamere, you just bring damage, right? You know, if the Tryndamere is getting bullied, if the Tryndamere can't win insides, it gets very, very tough here for Revenge. He's again going forward, but doesn't have any rage to start it off, and the ult has to be popped very early. He's got to run.
Early.
He's dead.
He's going to get jumped on yet again, trying to heal back up the spin, and Summit kills him. Revenge cracking under pressure. It feels like ult's at 400 health. The kick and a charm was damn beautiful. Holy moly, Xerxe and PowerOfEvil. Good for 3 in a row.
Man, it's a tale of 2 lanes, and now the hook over the wall here. He's not going to take that onto the Tahm. If that Berserker, maybe you go, but you'd still have to pay respect to that TK ulti. But now the top lane gap is enormous. Summit is just clowning on Revenge up there. He took the full tower, unassisted, all 5 plates. Look at the discrepancy in gold up in top lane. Over 2,000 already, 2,100 gold between those 2 players. Revenge, it feels like he's just getting frustrated because his tower is constantly getting whittled away on, but he's down in gold and he's looking for these aggressive trades, these all-ins, when he doesn't even have rage. You're never going to win that fight when someone is going into Mega, is up gold, and you do not have full rage. So, you know, Revenge getting a little bit impatient there because someone is doing such a good job punishing him at every turn, chipping away at the tower. I think he is feeling the pressure to say, all right, I have got to stop this because we are getting bled out of this game.
But wants out of the tower one more time, but now it's the water quick from Blaber. Does have a flash get away. The flash ult for Blaber, and he's back on the board, baby. In spring, he makes it happen. 2 to 3 on the board, 1,500 gold lead. Cloud9 finally getting one on Blaber. They're already winning through top.
Yeah, that one hurts for PowerOfEvil. He really greeted it out, trying to actually kill off That last auto on the tower, doesn't even get it, dies and loses his flash. And now they're going to be able to take Herald off the back of this. Blaber has just been dutifully farming away. Xerxe has been getting the kills, but Xerxe's down 2 levels. He has all the gold. Lucian is not going to carry this game. Top lane is a disaster. Individually, you know, he's down a lot of XP. Berserker is out farming in bot side. It's going to be a really tough game for Immortals. It feels like there's so much pressure now on mid jungle to be able to find picks. You know, them working with Destiny to get picks, to get kills. This is one of those things where it's like, you got to make a decision. Are you willing to die for it or not? In this case, he waited so long, does realize he has to flash out, but then at that point, ulti flash there from Blaber over the wall, catches them both, pushes them out. He has a 2-level lead, and now they even have Herald, so they can even crack mid whenever they want. They're moving Berserker over to this side, sending Fudge down towards bot. Summit can start to roam around the map. He actually took the enemy red buff even, so you know, he's nearly on 2 items here. Revenge still doesn't even have his first, and there's just no shot Revenge is ever going to win an all-in against the Gnar at this point.
He's going to be on, he's going to be on Triforce before anything comes actually through. Mid lane turret, definitely at 1 HP. That'll be dead at some point. I mean, it's probably even through backdoor you can kill it. 17, that actually dies with backdoor bonus. Just as long as someone autos it, that is 500 gold to the team. It'll close the gold gap by a quarter. Meanwhile, Cloud9 already up 2 Drakes on the way towards an Infernal Soul. It's going to be pretty solid for them, considering how explosive this Gnar has been already. If you get a bit more done on this one. Gonna lick their wounds. Revenge down a level, and he puts a ward down and just donates 30 gold to Summit, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, you can hardly blame him for warding, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's just one of those things where he's trying to have some level of safety here. But because Summit has been so relentless about non-stop autoing him, you know, Revenge is just getting pushed back. He's never getting control of the wave. And Tryndamere, when you can't control the wave, you can't fill up that rage bar. You can't look for the all-ins. Every time he ignores him, like, look at this. He chunks out almost half his health. He gets the Demolish proc on the tower. Someone is just playing this matchup out beautifully. The Ignite has actually made a really big difference. That, with his auto spacing, his fleet footwork, the move speed, like, he's just making it look so easy. Even there, that's the Q juke, right? They basically is making him think that that's an ultimate cast.
Okay, but they get the root, and they're going to get the charm. They're going to get all the damage they need. Fudge will drop yet again. Xerxe finds his 4th kill. Would love to see 1 doing it to Ahri, but she is getting solo assist every time, so you're still getting half the value of the kill. It's not like you're really poaching your mid laner's gold that badly. However, you kind of would love to see a 4-kill Ahri, you know, like it would be a surge forward.
If it's a 4-kill Ahri, I think you give them more of a chance, right? Because Ahri, you want him to get to that spot where he can really one-shot people. But also, PoE is going a pretty defensive build. I mean, I don't know if he's just going to sit on Seekers or if that's actually going to be a full Zhonya's, but I feel like when you're the hope for your team, you can't just go like CDR boots and Zhonya's and everything. As I think we're going to see Revenge die again here. Someone's just got to stay in range for the flash.
Ghosting. Will they get the rest of it? Gets the heal, sidesteps the boomerang. That is crucial. Would have died with that if that lands. And at least in the bottom side, Ahri finds a split push kill on a tower. It does look like we're seeing a lot of these. I don't want to call it tank. Oh, that rocket. He's going to, he sees it, and Destiny even blocks it. These sort of quasi, I don't want to call it tank Ahri because it's
supportive,
not.
Let's call it supportive.
But it allows you.
Utility.
Let's call it utility because you can ult in the face of anyone and say, I'm just going to make sure I land Everfrost root into Charm, and I'm just going to get on the Jinx. I'm going to get on the Lucian because I'm not worried about getting one shot by it.
Yeah. My concern is always, though, when your team is losing, who's the person to kill them after you hit the charm, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like in those situations, often you have to go for a more risky build where it's just like, I am going to one-shot this person if I can pull it off, and that gives us a win condition, right?
Oh, I'm Shadow Flame.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So I'm going to be Shadow Flame after the Everfrost. I'm going to go Stork Boots instead of the CDR Boots. You know, I'm going to try to look for that 100-0. We'll see if they can find any sort of picks because it feels like that's really what their game revolves around here at this point.
Well, they find a good charm there, but Blaber tanky enough, even though he has no Merc Treads. Still able to walk it off at the end. 5 seconds till the dragon spawns, and you can't play for this one, right? You're down in gold. There's no way it's going to work for you, so split off to the map. Tryndamere can one-tap that mid lane tower. Means everyone else probably needs to go somewhere else. Is there even a team fight for Immortals here? Chompers go down. The hook comes out, but that's going to be claimed. A nice attempt for the Lee Sin steal. And actually, Revenge gives up the tower, walks in because they're going to go for the play on a Winsome. They root him in place, and actually, it's really Immortals who want this fight. Ulti lands from Aphelios, but is there really a battle? They don't even take the hook in, but now Ahri's gonna try, gets a slow, looks for the charm. As Zonia's out of Blaber. Can they get the other half? But hook is gonna come just a quarter second late. It's a rockabelt back, it's a dunk in, and Blaber is on for kills number 2 and 3. The dive in is gonna mean nothing. Immortals wanted to fight, but untrue to their name, they die right away.
And Blaber is showing him how you engage in League of Legends. Immortals fishing and poking and trying to find the angle to get onto Blaber. He uses the Zonias to immune that charm, find the turn as Immortals overstep their ulti flash. Another great one here from Blaber. They're going straight onto the 20-minute Baron. Cloud9 running away with this one.
Yeah, they are looking really good here. Cloud9 gonna find themselves 5,500 up. They've got to make sure they mark Xerxe. Thankfully, they do have some wards. Here comes the push. Gnar over the wall. Not an ace, but a kill all the same. 5 for nothing in that long-term fight, plus a guaranteed Baron Nashor. Cloud9 about to close this one out as Revenge finds a split push.
And it hurts even more because that's a 4-kill bounty that's actually given away to Summit, who's already so far ahead. And now Fudge down to this bot side. He's on Revenge.
Gale Force into spin. Decent damage. I mean, Fudge, he's 2 hits from dead. Oh, the locket shield into Chomp saves his life, but sadly cannot get the rest of the way through. A good attempt, honestly, Revenge. You go for the risk, right? Like, you hope, oops, you know, Winsome didn't show up.
Weak.
Yeah.
I mean, even Fudge is a full item above him, right? If he had a reasonable amount of gold, that's an easy kill. But here's one more time, Immortals trying to go for this fight here. Revenge is kind of poking around the side. They do force the flash there off of Winsome, but they don't want to full commit onto it. The Inferno ulti softens up a number of the members here. They're trying to get in as the Mega Gnar has expired. The charm gets Zonia's there from Blaber, and then as they group up here, Blaber just sees the angle. Flash, ulti, 3 men snap in there. C9 surges forward. Revenge can do nothing. And Xerxe is pushed out the side there by Summit. Great team fighting from Cloud9, biding their time. They get the Baron off the back of this. They're on Soul Point. Everything is in their favor. This is going to be a quick closeout.
Looking pretty good right now. Cloud9 on their way to get that 10th win, keeping pace with Team Liquid for their clash tomorrow as battle for sole control of first place. No teams within 2 of these teams right now, as it turns out. And now they get to go for a little bit more here. Mid and bot under pressure. Summit going to remain a bit of a split push threat over there. Actually, it's going to be Fudge down there on the Lucian. And Summit sticks with the team during Mega Gnar, and now time to go for an inhibitor turret itself. Pretty happy to. He's reasonably tanky with the Triforce and Hullbreaker health. He's big enough. Winsome takes the front line, and then we go for the first inhibitor turret and the inhibitor to follow.
I mean, what can Immortals do, right? They have no explosive engage, really. If Xerxe cannot get behind you, there's no shot that you're going to be able to find anything. Destiny can't just walk towards them into the Baron buff, Baron buff minions and try to get a hook. So C9 realize there's no threat on the side of Immortals. Revenge isn't going to do anything. You have eyes on Xerxe. As long as you have eyes on Destiny, you're not really afraid of that either. So they just walk up. They know they have that power. They know they have that massive advantage. They knock down 2 inhibitors super quick. Massive Baron buff. Power play there. 4,000 plus gold to C9. I want to say the individual gold actually between these players because I think Summit is monstrously ahead. Yeah, there it is. Oh my god.
5,500.
5,500 ahead.
Doing pretty well.
That's a tough nut to crack up there.
Yeah, he's got 2/3 of the gold lead. The next half of it belongs to Blaber's difference, and I mean down the line everyone's looking pretty good. I guess Ahri's got more, but yeah, rough road here for Immortals, and they had a chance for a while. Again, yeah, if POB get the kills, looks a little bit nicer, but
it's still not enough.
It's probably not enough. No, Cloud9 definitely the better team.
Just even I think the way that their composition is built. If you want to play the style where you're playing for Tryndamere, you have to be able to compete in the side lane. Tryndamere does not have a good fallback pattern, right? Like, you can't just say, that's okay, I'm down full item, let's group and I'll slow them, It's just not going to happen.
Hook, though, is going to look pretty good. CC'd for a while, kick backwards. He will finally look for the Zonias with the ulti. Locket Shield buys him the time. Blaber has flash, but Blaber doesn't have a way out. Shutdown is there, and here comes the fallback pattern. He will slow them. Cast the ult, gets Ignite on, and unless you can land the culling, oh, the Ignite still gets him. It was late enough that the last tick got the kill. Xerxe should have shielded him later. He did it too early when the ulti was still on.
Yeah, did he not have his Q to heal up there either? I mean,
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Seemed like something went wrong, but Summit, in the meantime, level 16, taking the top tower down. Everyone from Immortals coming. He likes those odds.
Flash Flame,
Oh my
Destiny
God.
is down. Turns out he delivers himself to be killed. And it's going to go for a bit more as the rest of the squad shows up. Winsome's here, Fudge is here. That Aphelios ulti does nothing. The Charm's going to miss. Flash ult's going to land. Good luck, Arrow. Push back. Xerxe gets a bit of time for his team. And that's going to be them staying alive at the very least. Nice try by Summit.
Man, how much fun is Summit to watch? He sees Immortals walking over 1v4. He just takes the fight, and now the hop over top of the kick flash there. Knocked to safety, they're gonna kill him.
And yeah, he's dead. Nicely done. Summit's on the board. Unstoppable, 5-0-1. Arrow slowed down. Gonna try again with PoE. Tries to get the damage, doesn't have enough. The defense, the rocket, it was close. And Tahm Kench sticks the kill. A lantern to safety for something. But sadly, Immortals cannot knock down these kills. 11-5. Game's ending soon.
Yeah, they're TPing back in here. They have the soul. C9 on the death march here, looking to clean this one up. Absolute domination from Summit in the top lane. I think probably the single most dominant game from anyone in the LCS. It feels like this split. He was on fire, crushed Revenge, who has been playing very, very well. Brings out the Ignite Gnar, looks incredible doing it.
Hope for a jungle canyon. You found yourself a top Summit. Top of the board, Cloud9, first place, 10-2. They get to fight Team Liquid tomorrow to cement their spot as #1. Blaber, yeah, the Yanks came through on the other side. Well done to Xerxe. That 2-on-2 worked really good. But Blaber found himself farming immaculately, came back for some very explosive fights where the ults came in, and he got 1, he got 2, he got 3. And that's all that happened at that point. Turns out the Cloud9 playstyle is still, Summit and Blaber are really, 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 really good.
Yeah, some problems around mid lane for C9. I think Xerxe and PowerOfEvil had some really good plays around that mid lane, pairing up with Destiny to really focus on Fudge, but not much else mattered. Blaber power farm had some great engages, and Summit absolutely crushed in the top lane. Ends that game a good 6,000 gold ahead. Just an absolute monster performance. The confidence to bring the Ignite in this matchup, to play it perfectly, to get the maximum. Didn't need any jungle interference, just take all of those plates, take the entire tower solo, and really put Immortals in what felt like an almost unwinnable position just from how quickly he was accelerating the pace of that game and how quickly he was taking these massive advantages and shutting the Tryndamere out.
Yeah, I mean, really impressive stuff. That matchup in solo queue was like it's a coin flip. It's really close. And even after you get to the end game, like both champs look pretty good overall. And Summit had control from the very beginning. Yeah, you could say the coins came up tails a bunch early game. The 2 spinning slashes in and the 4 attacks afterwards, I saw 0 crits. So it was a little bit of, unlucky there.
Yeah.
But like none of those fights were like, oh, if you had 80 more health, you would have won that one, right?
Yeah, and when he was actually dying, those fights weren't close at all,
not
right?
at all.
Like, it was on the very early trades, like, would that have made a difference? Maybe a little bit. But, I just think Summit played this incredibly, incredibly well.
Well done to Cloud9. Once again, tied for first place. We're going to head to Max Waldo joining Litagros on